Michael, as Apex Legends engagement declines, EA suggests it's not planning version 2. Tom Ivan over at VGC. EA is planning to make significant changes to Apex Legends designed to address a decline in player engagement and missed revenue targets. Quote, we do have a moment right now where we are managing the current trajectory of the business, end quote, CEO Andrew Wilson acknowledged during the company's second quarter earnings call on Tuesday. Quote, but we believe by virtue of the strength of the brand, the size of the global community, the position we hold in the top tier of these free-to-play live service games, like Concord, that we'll be able to return that to growth in our business side over the course of time, end quote. Wilson said Apex Legends Season 22, Michael, which launched in early August, had fallen short of expectations. Quote, following changes to the Battle Pass construct, well, that was one change, right? We did not see the lift in monetization we had expected, end quote, he said. Quote, two things have become clear in the free-to-play FPS category. First, in the competitive landscape where brand, a strong core player base, and high-quality mechanics matter more than ever, Apex has proven to be a compelling franchise for us and an industry stalwart. Second, to drive significant growth and re-engagement, large systematic change is required. We will continue to focus our retention and breadth of content in service of our global community as we work towards more significant, innovative changes in the future. And quote, during a Q&A session, EA was essentially asked to explain the pros and cons of incrementally improving the game in its existing form, versus fully rebuilding the title and releasing, quote, say something like Apex 2. Quote, it's a really good question and probably beyond the scope of this conversation, but what I want to say is that typically what we have seen in the context of live service driven games at scale is that version 2 thing has almost never been as successful as version 1 thing. Let's take a look at Overwatch 1, Michael, and go to Overwatch 2.
Yep.
Prime example, right? Like, that's the biggest thing. That's the most compelling thing. This is why right now we still continue to this day have PUBG. Now, PUBG 2, we have PUBG because they already have the community. What's happening next in the world of PUBG is that there's coming in as a massive Unreal Engine 5 upgrade, which can't happen fast enough, I'll be honest. But, Michael, what are your thoughts? Should we get a sequel or no?
No, I really don't think you should. I mean, as you said, you pointed it out with PUBG, right? In the world of Battle Royale shooters, the big three, right? Fortnite. There's no Fortnite 2. PUBG, as you said, there's no PUBG 2. Warzone's like the only one that you could kind of say, right? Because Warzone sort of updates alongside Call of Duty, and I know internally they call it Warzone 2. I think Warzone 3, again, internally is coming out very soon with engine updates. But again, that one's a little bit different because it follows a different game, right? There's none of these Battle Royales that go, let's make a new one, right? I just think the fact that we talked about it on the show quite a bit, EA'd, and they messed around with the Battle Pass. They pissed a ton of people off. That's automatically soured their game. Sure, they walked it back, said, hey, we're going to change things, even though us and other people kind of called out and said, yeah, they made it better than it was, but it's still worse than before because we're splitting it up. You still are going to have to pay a little bit more money. Sure, you get a more free rewards, but at the end of the day, EA just got too greedy. Who would have guessed in 2024, EA still has not learned a single lesson, Drew, and has to just keep trying to dig into our wallets. And I'll be honest, I think the Battle Royale genre is starting to hit its peak. Yes, Fortnite's always going to be there. Yes, PUBG's going to be there. But even Call of Duty, right? If you follow Warzone, it was starting to fall off a little bit towards the end of the Modern Warfare 3 life cycle. See if that one maybe picks back up with Verdansk coming. And if you're not Fortnite and you're not PUBG, I really think this Battle Royale genre is just going to kind of start to disappear in 2026, 2027. As people said, hey, that was fun. All right, it's time for something new. But I think, Drew, Apex Legends is going away, and I really don't think an Apex Legends 2 could have saved it. It's all EA's fault.
Yeah, it's an interesting little move, right? They're just trying to be greedy. There's phase 2 of Battle Pass, and phase 1, phase 2, and then you're gonna pay for this one, and then you're gonna pay for that one. And like, well, whoa, what are you doing to us? This doesn't, no. Like, that's EA being EA at the end of the day, and it just drives me nuts. Don't mess with what isn't broken. Is the, like, you know what I mean? Like, why would you bother that? You just disrupted your whole player base and ticked everybody off in the process. So yeah, that doesn't really fly at the end of the day. I don't think they needed to. I think Andrew's got it right. That's a dumb move to come out with a sequel because we've seen the ramifications of how that plays out, and it doesn't work, man. It just really doesn't work. You want to keep it going. As bad as PUBG continues to look, we do know that, as I said, the Unreal Engine 5 update is coming. Dude, expect a huge influx of players, right? That's the biggest thing. They're just looking to keep that game alive. How do you do that? You move the tech forward. There's still a ton of going on right now with that. And then Apex has a ton of stuff going on too, and new events, and new this, and new that. There's a reason why we have Siege 1. There is no Rainbow Six Siege 2. Will we ever get a sequel to that? I don't know. I feel like the game is getting a little old. Dude, this could be a whole discussion within itself. So, but at the end of the day, do not expect a sequel for Apex Legends.